Lookup functions. See, we have various lookup functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index, match, combination of these things. So we'll see all of them in a particular order. I'll take you one after the other. I'll teach you one after the other. And these lookup functions are used extensively by most of us, whoever uses Excel, just to get the data from another source. So it could be in a different sheet or same sheet or in a different workbook as well. Now let's go for VLOOKUP, how it works and what is it. So lookup, as I said, is a function that is used to search. Lookup means to search. So VLOOKUP means to vertically search for a value. Now, suppose we have a database, employee database given over here. Now, within this, I would like to search an employee's details. So, I would like to get the details like name, department, earnings, and region of a given employee. But I have only his employee ID. Okay. So, then we'll go for VLOOKUP. So, we can use VLOOKUP and get the rest of the details. So, first of all, you need to take care of two conditions. Even before you apply VLOOKUP, you need to check few things. See, currently we have only E005, that's the employee ID. This is known as our search value or lookup value. Okay, so this should be present in the leftmost column of our selection. So, see, even if you have 100 columns of data, let's say, you usually don't go and choose the entire data for that matter. So it could be like this also. Only a subset of it is also fine. But your search value should be within the leftmost column of your selection. Only then VLOOKUP works. And the second condition that you have to take care of is the leftmost column that you have in your selection should be containing unique values. So that is the second most important thing that you have to check before you apply VLOOKUP. So keeping these two in mind, let's go here. So now I'll go here. I'll start applying VLOOKUP. You give equal to VLOOKUP. So you look at the parameters here. Lookup value, table array, column index number, and range lookup. These are the four parameters VLOOKUP will ask you to provide. See here, the lookup value is our employee ID. We already have it. So we'll give that. Next, table array. So whatever is, wherever we have the details of these employee IDs, we'll select that entire table. So next parameter is column index number. So you go here, we require name. So name of this employee ID. So within this database, check where exactly name is present. It is in which column. That's the column index number. So in my selection, name is in the second column. So I need to mention 2 in the formula in place of column index number. See, look at this. I am giving input to column index number. I have mentioned 2 here. Give a comma. It will move to the next parameter, that is range lookup. See, most of you skip this. Okay. I know this. It is an optional parameter, but mentioning it is very important. See, if you don't mention anything in range lookup, you leave it as it is, then it will give you an approximate match. So, this is not the accurate result that you would expect. It is always best to give exact match so that whatever is your search value or lookup value, it will be matched exactly from the database that we have selected. Okay, close this, press enter. You will see the result here, Roger Williams. So let's check. E005 is Roger Williams. So we got the name. So next, I want the other details as well. So what we'll do, we'll copy paste this You see what happens? I copied this formula to other cells. We are getting some result, but is it correct? See, this is not the department name. So what's happening here? Just double click. You can see here we have not used any dollars in our cell addresses. That's the reason the reference is moving from E005. And also you can see our data selection has also moved from employee ID. It has moved one column. This should not happen to us. See, then the results will not be accurate. So you can go here. You should ensure the same cell is being referred in all the other columns also. So I'll make sure the column is absolute. So whatever is in J column, that should be made absolute. So I'll say F4, another F4, another F4. So you will see the dollar is placed on J now. Next, the data that I have selected, even that reference should not change for me. So I'll give dollars. So rest all is fine and give enter. Let me copy paste it. So now you see the same name appearing in all the columns over here. So that's because we have mentioned column number as 2. So this is a hard coded value. It's not changing automatically. So in case of department, so just look for the column number here. So you go here, see department is the fifth column. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and fifth column is department. So just go here. In place of department, you change this to 5. So next, earnings. So next to department. So it will be sixth column. Just change the number to 6. And in region, you again go here and change it to 4. So this again, going to each cell and changing the column index number is a tedious task. So what if you have hundreds of columns? You can't keep counting for it. So we have another function known as match. So let me teach you HLOOKUP, and then there are index and match functions. When I teach you match, I'll show you how to implement it in VLOOKUP. Okay. So currently, are there any doubts in VLOOKUP? Applying VLOOKUP? Any doubts?
Ma'am Sumit here. Good evening. Uh, Ma'am, actually, there is an power cut, ma'am. So I joined from my mobile, so I missed the part of earnings and region. How did you make that, ma'am?
Uh, you got to see how I got the name of this employee ID.
Yes, ma'am. I got that. We look up.
So we just gave the column index number as 2 because name is in the second column.
Yes.
So for earnings and region, we just changed the column number. For our earnings is in the sixth column, I changed it to 6. And
Hmm.
region was in fourth column, so I changed it to 4. So
And
this
dollar symbol, ma'am.
dollar is to make sure your reference doesn't change. See over here, I don't want reference of this employee ID to change whenever I copy paste it to other cells like this.
Okay, ma'am.
So when we drag it or when we copy paste it to other cells, if you don't give dollars, let's say reference from this cell and also your data selection will change because it's a relative reference. So that's the reason we have to use these dollars to make sure they are in place. Always they are referred. So they are not changing. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So this works for other employees also. Let me give a list of them. Let me show you. See, I'll take few employees. So just randomly, I'll go here. I'll copy paste it. Now, even for these employees, I would like to get the same details. So you just copy this and paste it below. You will get the details of these employees as well. So you can verify it later. Okay. So to get these perfect results, you should make sure. So when to insert VLOOKUP, what are the two conditions? So even before you apply it. Second, so you have to give these cell references in a proper way. Then you will get these results in an accurate way. Okay. So let me, yeah,
Madam, that false you have added, no?
yes,
For
is there.
what it is?
See, if you don't give false, let me show you that example as well. See, currently my data is in a sorted order. There is no problem here. Okay, it's in a sorted order. Even if I mention true or false, it's not going to make a big difference for us. Suppose, see, I gave here 15 and some number over here, and here I'll give 2. I'm just changing it for the sake of displaying what happens if you don't give false. So I'll change this to E002. Now, see, I gave false, so it is giving me Melissa James. So you are getting the exact result over here, E002, Melissa James. You can see here, even here you have the same thing. Suppose I went and changed this to true. I'll change it to true now. It gives me an approximate match. See, Shannon Lee. So which is this one? But according to the employee ID is present here. This is not the value that I want to get. E002 is present somewhere over here for me. It should give me this result. So when you mention true over there, it will approximately take some value and provide you as a result. Yes, true will work only when your data is in a proper way, that is in a sorted order. Then it will give you the results. But if it is not, if it is all jumbled like this, then your results will mess up. So you will not get the accurate results. You understood?
And suppose if we add a zero or something there.
Yeah, even 0 also works. See, 1 and 0 represent true and false. Instead of false, you can also mention 0. So even that also works. So let me go here. I can also mention 0 over here. That is also correct. 0 represents false.
Okay.
Okay, clear with
Yeah.
this? Clear
Yeah.
with this part?
Yes.
So let's go for H lookup. See, even in H lookup, you have to take care of the two conditions. Similar to VLOOKUP, but the direction of looking for the value is going to change. VLOOKUP will look for the value vertically, whereas HLOOKUP will look for the value horizontally. So like this. In this direction, the search will happen. Now, you have to make sure your search value or lookup value that you have considered here is present in the topmost row of your selection. So if I select this data, we know this quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 is available in the topmost row of my selection. So you should ensure your search value is present in the topmost row, first thing. Second, you should also make sure the topmost row has got unique values in it. Okay, same two conditions what we applied for VLOOKUP. So even HLOOKUP also has to follow that. So here the topmost row, if it has got duplicate values, I'll say what happens. See, I have quarter 3. Suppose I have quarter 3 over here as well. So what happens now is the very first occurrence of quarter 3, once it gets there, it will stop. It will not search further. So you will not get the second instance value. So you should see that it is not duplicate so that your results are accurate. Okay. So let me show you HLOOKUP, how to insert it. Equal to HLOOKUP. See, even in HLOOKUP, you have four parameters given here: lookup value, table array, row index number, and range lookup. See, in VLOOKUP, we saw column index number. In HLOOKUP, you are seeing row index number. So let's take this lookup value, comma, table array, select the entire thing. Okay, again, comma, row index number. So in which row the data that I want is present. Say quarter 3, we'll find in which column it is there. Overhead. So I need to mention in which row overhead is present. So go here. So this is your selection. So you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in fifth row, overhead is present. So I'll go mention 5 over here in the formula. And as I said, range lookup, it's always best to give exact match. So you can also mention false or 0. Anything will work here. So let me give enter. See, quarter 3, the value is 5620 for overhead. So you can see here. So for overhead, quarter 3 value is 5620. Okay. So now, if I have to get other details like net profit and profit percentage, see if I drag it, you will get this error. That's because you can see here, see the lookup value has changed from this cell to this cell now. And also my data selection has moved because I have not used any dollars. So let me go here again. I should make sure always the cell selection for lookup value will be in J column. So I'll go here and keep this J column as absolute, only the column part. So on J, I gave a dollar. And the data selection should not change for me in any manner. So I'll give F4 dollars on both row and column. I'll press enter. So let's copy paste it now. So you'll see the same values. That's because of the row index number. So for net profit, what's the row number? Let's check. The overhead is fifth row, 6, 7, 8. So eighth row we have net profit. Just go here, change this 5 to 8. You will get the net profit. And for profit percentage, change it to 9 in place of 5. So here it's the problem of the number format. Just go and click on percentage. You will get to see the value. Is it clear? HLOOKUP. All of you, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me teach you match first, and then I'll teach you index. See, match is, see, even before I teach you match, so let me summarize this VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP with one single example that you all might have known using it. See, VLOOKUP in your real-time scenario, what I can say is, so you all would have booked for trains, or at least you would have seen your results on the notice board. So usually what happens, you will go search for your registration number on the left hand side column. Once you get your registration number, you'll stop at that row. You will move to the column where your result is mentioned. So let's say these are different columns for your subjects. And in the last column, you have the final result. So you will look at the column specified. So which column you're interested in. Let's say you were scared of some subject that you might fail. We'll first look at that column. So this VLOOKUP also works in a similar manner, guys. So whatever you are looking for, it will be searched vertically. It will stop at that point once it gets the value, and it will move to the column number that you specify, and it will fetch the value to you as a result. Okay. So HLOOKUP, it's going to change the direction. That's it. It is first going to check the column, and it will then ask you to provide the row number. So it will first check in which column your lookup value is present, and then it will move down to the row number you specify, and it will fetch the value to you. Okay, so I have summarized this part. Now let me take you to match function. See, match actually, it's a function which provides a number as a result to me. Okay, here you provide a value to be searched. It will let me know where exactly, in which position it is present in the list that I provide as an input. Say for match, there is a restriction. Either a single column can be given as an input to it, or a single row can be given as an input. So never match will accept multiple rows and columns. Okay, so not selection like this. It's not going to accept selection like this. Either you have to select this way, or you have to select this way. Okay, suppose I want to know a particular employee ID's position within this list. I'll use match. See, this is my lookup value. We got this. So these are the parameters: lookup value, lookup array, match type. Lookup array is the list that you provide as an input to it. In that list, it will search for the value you have given as an input. So I have given E005 as the employee ID to be searched. And in which list? In this list. So here you should observe something. I have included the heading here. In the lookup array selection, I've included the heading. You see what will be the result? Exact match. Even here I'll choose exact match. Say close. Press enter. So you see sixth row. That's the index that we are getting. That is the row number of this particular employee ID. That's the position. So you go here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6th row. See, since I included employee ID in my lookup array selection, even this is considered as one of the list items. So in match, while using match, you should be very careful with the selections that you do. Now if I exclude this, it will give me exact row number. So 5th row, I have E005. It will give me this. Match is always used to get the position of a given item within the array that we select. See, if my array is in this format, let's say in this format, then it will give me the column number, in which column it is present. Since I selected it this way, it's going to tell me in which row it is present. Okay, is it clear to all of you? Match function.
Yeah.
Okay, see, match again, we can use it along with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP to automatically get the row number and column number without any hassles. So currently we went and searched for the row number and column number. We counted it manually, correct? So what I'll do, remove this. I'll make a copy of this data just to show you how it works along with match. So this example I would like to show you using match function. So let me increase this. Yes. See, I'll remove the VLOOKUP that we have provided. I'll give match function over here. Match answer. So over here you can see we have provided a lookup value. Table array selection is there, but we are providing this column index number manually based on what value is present in the cell at the top. So now if I can get to know in which position this name is present or department or earning is present, it can take that number automatically. So this can be achieved using match function. Now let me show you how. I use match. See, I want to know the position of name here. So this will be my lookup value for match. Lookup array, it will be this one. The heading, only the headings part. I'll keep it absolute. And I need a exact match. So now we got to know 2 is the answer. That's where name is present. Now let me check if it is going to give me the result if I change the column value here. So I'll change this to earnings. See, it will change to 6. Now if I change it to department, it will give me 5. See, depending on the column value you provide, the number is automatically changing. So I can use this match function within VLOOKUP so that based on the input that we have at the top, it is going to consider the column numbers all by itself. So what I'm going to do here, just copy this function, copy this, press enter, go here. Again, I am going to edit the VLOOKUP function. In place of 2, I'll paste it. Again, press enter. After we are done with it, you see, I'll just copy paste it to other cells. We get the results automatically. For department is accounts, earnings, and region. See, whichever column name you provide here. So let's say I'll give SSN. It will give me the SSN number. So here let me change it to department. It will give me the department. Here let's say I'll give employee ID again. So even that it will give me. It will give me the result based on the column name that I provide. So you should only make sure the spelling is correct. So if spelling is wrong, you'll not get it. See, if I say DEPT, it will give me an error because there is no such value in the headings of this data. It should match whatever value you provide there should match with the headings of your data selection. So I'll go here. So let me change it to earnings. So it will give me. So only spelling is important. So no matter you provide in uppercase, lowercase, mixed case, still it takes. Okay. So the same match, I can use it with HLOOKUP also and get the results automatically. Let me go here. I'll make a copy of this. So again, I'll say using match. And here I'll say match answer. Yes. So let's go here. See, in case of this example, overhead is the match value, lookup value for me. Let's say match, and this is the lookup value. But where is it present? It is in the this column. But I have to select from here. I have included this blank cell as well because even this is present in my table array selection where HLOOKUP is provided. So in HLOOKUP, whatever data you have selected, keeping that in mind, I've also included the cell which is blank. I'll choose this, I'll make it absolute. Here I'll say 0. With this I'm using it to find out the row number. It will give me that. See, overhead is 5th row, correct? So if I say total sales, let me type it. This will give me second row. See, you can see here. Total sales, this is first row, this is second row. So if I change anything over here, it should automatically reflect its value. So to get it done, go here, select this match function, copy it, press enter, You go here, in place of 5, you just paste this function and press enter. So it will automatically give me the total sales for this quarter. The next you copy paste it to other cells, so it will take automatically. Just go here and give percentage. Is it clear, all of you? How to use match along with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP? Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's consider index. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry guys, sorry for the interruption. See here, we'll see how index works. See, index is a function which will not go by either lookup value or something like that. It doesn't ask you any lookup value. It will only ask you to select the data entirely, provide the row number and column number, and it will get you the results. Now suppose I have some department here, and let me take, or let me give index function. I'll just say equal to index. See, you have to look at the first part of it. See the first example, the first formula that you're seeing here. So it is array, row number, and column number. Array is the entire data. Just select it and make it absolute. Comma, which row and which column number data that you want. See over here, I'll mention, let's say, 7th row, 2nd column. How to verify whether it is 7th row, 2nd column? See, I selected the data right from the heading. So this will be my first row. I'll give the serial numbers. See, 7th row, this is first column, and this is 2nd column over here. So you can see 7th row, 2nd column data is 60,000. But department is in the first column. Just change the column number to 1 and press enter. See, it says human resources. Let's copy this to the other cell and change this to 2 over here. So you got it. See, even for this, you can use match along with it to get the row number and column number of any particular data and get the results automatically. You all understood the index function? It's very simple one actually. Just have to select the array, provide row number and column number to give you the result. Is it okay? You're all fine with it? Index function?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's see the combination of index and match function. Now why we should go for this? Let me explain to you. There are some drawbacks of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So those drawbacks are when your data, the lookup value, is present in the leftmost column. See, like this. Only then it will work. So what it does, it will only fetch you the data that is towards the right hand side of the lookup values that are there. Now if I have some data which is on the left hand side to this lookup value, it will not get me that data. So VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP can only fetch the data in a single direction, that is only from the right side or the bottom side. If you are using HLOOKUP, it will get you the details below the topmost row. So it can look only in a single direction, either VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. This is a major problem. Suppose I have SSN. See, I have taken the same example here. I have got SSN. I don't know the employee ID and name of that person. I only got his SSN. SSN is also a unique value. But still, you see, if I choose this entirely, I can't use VLOOKUP because SSN is not the leftmost column. Let's say we choose only from this column, and if I wanted to get employee ID and name using VLOOKUP, even that would not be possible. So the only way is either cut these two columns and put it in the end, which is not feasible. So you always don't have that option to do so. Many of them still do it, but you don't have to if you know index and match combination. So this is the limitation of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And the second thing is this VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions are very heavy, which will add on to your file size. Let's say you have thousands of rows to paste this VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP function. It will contribute to your file size in a very big way. And you might also see just by changing any one cell, you'll see it will keep on showing you that it is still updating. That's because it consumes a lot of data and your CPU time is consumed. So this index and match when compared to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP is much faster, and it doesn't add so much to your file size. Okay, so that is advantage, but many of them don't use this index match combination just because it is lengthier in size. See, the formula is quite lengthy, but it doesn't mean it is not efficient. It is definitely efficient than VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP because see, index function you all know what happens. You are going to select the entire array. You will specify which row number, which column number. It will fetch you the data wherever it is. It is not asking you to keep the lookup value in left column only or top row only. So there is no such restrictions. And it is quite faster compared to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. People rely on VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP just because it is a smaller formula and it is simple to understand. So even index and match, if you understand, it is very easy to implement. Now, I'll try my best to simplify it for you. So let me first give this value manually. So I'll take some SSN from here. I'll go here, I'll choose this SSN. I'll copy this, I'll paste it here. Now, I'll use index function. You all are familiar with index, so I'll use it. I'll select the entire array. So this is our array. I'll keep it absolute because I don't want the selection of the array to change. Next, what is the row number that I want? We'll have a look at this SSN that we have 713816. So it is there over here. So let's check 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's in fifth row. I'll mention the row number as 5. Column number. See, what do I want? We have mentioned name here. I want the name of this SSN value. So I'll say name is in second column. So mention 2 here. Close the bracket. You will get the value. James Overmeyer. You can see we get James Overmeyer. But I can't keep giving row number and column number always. So what I'll do, I'll use match for column, match for row, match for row, and match for column. I need to get the values 5 and 2 using a formula. And if I use that formula within index, it will become a dynamic formula for me. I just have to copy paste it to other cells and it will work like a wonder. So let me give match for row. So how did we find out the row number? By using SSN. So that will be our lookup value for match. I'll say SSN. I'll take this and I'll keep it absolute because the same SSN value should be considered in all the other cells. So I'll choose that as lookup value. I'll make it absolute. So where did we find this SSN? Within the SSN column. So choose that column here. Keep this also absolute. Match type should be exact. So I'll give 0, press enter. We got 5. Next, match for the column number. See, we arrived at 2 as the column number by looking at this value, this one. So name will be the lookup value for the match that we are using to find out the column number. So I'll take this. See, I'll not give any dollars to this one because I want this to change to department, earning, and region automatically when I copy paste it. So give comma lookup array. So where do we find this? Headings. So select only the heading part, make it absolute. Give comma, just say exact match 0, press enter. So once we have got the row number and column number, we are going to copy paste these functions. So select this, copy it, press enter. See, as soon as you copy the function, press enter. Don't forget to do this. So go here, in place of 5, paste it. Again, press enter. This time, we are going to copy. See, I'm copying excluding this equal to symbol. I'm not copying the equals because for any function or formula, you give equals only once. We already have index function over there. For that, we already have provided equals. So we are not going to use these equals again and again. So we'll just copy the math function, press enter. We'll go here. In place of 2, you paste it. After you're done with this, press enter. Now, let me copy paste this to other cells. See, you observe department, it is giving as marketing, earnings 1,05,000, region is south. Let's check James Overmeyer. See, region is south, department is marketing, and earnings is 1,05,000. So you can get results using index and match combination like this. People don't go for this just because the formula is lengthier. Otherwise, if you have understood it properly, it's one of the most efficient ways of getting your data from a huge data that you have, and you can paste this formula to many rows, and you can still have control over your file size as well. Okay, are you all clear with these things?
Yes. Yeah, I just have one question.
Yes, tell me.
When we are just doing a VLOOKUP formula, we are using it. So I used to guess hash NA in many of the cells because the data which we have is jumbled, which is a huge data.
Yeah, see,
So
you
what
get
I used to do
NA
is I
error.
have to filter that, and then again I have to enter it. Again I have to apply the formula individually. So is there any formula for that?
After you apply formula individually, would it would give you the answer.
Yeah, but it will take a lot of time. Like thousands of data I have for employees. I want to know the earnings for them.
Now
In
I
which,
guess it is because there is some problem with your lookup value. See, suppose this SSN that I have, are you looking at the sheet?
Mhm.
Yeah, see, this SSN is exactly matching with whatever is present in the data over here. See, many times when you have huge data, problem with it is you might have some extra spaces. Let's say I'll give an extra space here.
Yeah, okay.
See, still it gives me because it is giving you. In this case, it will still get me.
Right, right.
Okay, but in VLOOKUP, see, I'll go here. I'll change the lookup value.
Okay.
See if I add some space in the beginning or ending. You might not be able to find this out that there is a space over there. So you will only see, okay, this value is there, but it's not giving me. It's because of these things. Okay, you might have got an extra space like this. Okay, so even before you use VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, make sure your data is clean. You don't have these extra spaces or spelling mistakes. It will not match the lookup values properly. That might be the reason for you to get the NA error. NA means the value that you are looking for is not present within the data that you have. It's the only meaning that, let's say, I'll give some value like this, E345. See, this employee is not there in our selection. It will give me an error. So for that reason, you get error over here. Sometimes, as I said, you might be looking at this value and think it is there in the database. But the problem would be either over here you have an extra space, or in the place where you are giving the formula, there you might have some extra space or some mistake like this. Okay, just look for these things, then I guess it will be solved.
Because I used to use the data as the same. But still,
Okay.
I have got NA.
No, I didn't get your question.
See, I need to say, still the data is pakka. That means it is matching. The
Okay.
employee name which I have it in my data in sheet
Mm-hmm.
1 and in sheet 2 for looking at that. Both
Yeah.
are same, but still I get NA. I'll
Okay.
do one thing. I'll just provide you by tomorrow. I'll
Yeah,
work out
sure,
on that and I will
Rakesh.
just update you.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So any other doubts in these lookup functions? Yes.
Ma'am Smith here. Ma'am, when you're using VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP or index or match, absolute function needs to be used.
It all depends on the situation, Sumit. It
Okay.
all depends on the situation. See,
Because
let
dollar
me.
symbol is compulsory because I can see that that to freeze that row or column.
Yeah, that's because we have used it here. Now let me show you another example. So, anyways, we are using it in across the sheet. I'll show you here in across the sheet. Okay. So here, see, as per Sumit's doubt, what I can say is there is no compulsion. But see, if you don't give this, it's not going to function properly. The reason, see, I have only one SSN over there. Let me add few more. I'll just take it and put it here. Now, if I copy paste the same function over here, it doesn't work for me. You see, cell reference still stays here. It is still taking this cell reference, which is not correct. See, for the second row, cell reference should move to this. So again, I should change the reference here. See, over here, we have made this J6 as absolute. Sumit, please mute yourself. Yeah. See, over here, this J6 is made absolute in our first example. Suppose I have many SSN numbers, and for these, I require to give some values. I can go here. See, J6 is made absolute so that it doesn't change. But for me, it has to change now. When I copy paste it to other cells below, row number has to change. So I should remove the dollar on row number. And again, see, if you see here, I gave K5 as the match for column number. See, it should remain in fifth row. So if I don't do so, you can see here, for column number, it's taking this one, which is wrong. It should not move from the fifth row. So I'll go and change the reference here again. F4. I'll give dollar on fifth row now. So you have to observe where exactly you want to freeze it, where you want to keep it moving. You understood, Sumit? It's not a compulsion, but you have to use it the way it works like. So what works for you, you have to observe that and change the reference accordingly.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll see how across the sheet. See, when I say across the sheet, any formula that we have learned till now, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, match, index, its combination, any of these can be used across the sheet and still get the answer. So I am showing you how to apply VLOOKUP when the data is kept in different sheets. So now I have some employee IDs here. For these employee IDs, I need to get these details. So I have the data to get, for these employee IDs present in the first sheet over here. So the data that I should select is present in the first sheet. Let's go here and give VLOOKUP. So lookup value. I'll select this. See over here, you need to choose the cell reference wisely. See, I want the reference to move from fifth row to 6, 7, 8 eventually when I copy paste this downwards. So but I don't want the reference from B column to move when I copy paste it towards the right hand side. Let me show you without giving dollars, then you'll understand. I'll choose the table array as well. I'll go to this sheet. I'll select the table array. And you can see the sheet name is appearing. Along with that, the cell reference is given. I'll give another comma. Please please give a comma after choosing the data in some other sheet. So if you don't do that, as soon as you go to the sheet where you're giving the formula, it will try to take those cell references from the same sheet. Okay, now I have given this. You can see it has taken across sheet. So I'll remove this. See, in place of name, I have to give 2 here. Column index number is 2 for name. Or you could directly give match function as well. So as of now, I'll give the exact value here. Say exact match. Close it. For the first cell, it works. Okay, always. See, any cell reference you use to get the result in a single cell, it will work. The problem is only when you have to copy paste it to other cells. That's when you have to think of the cell reference. Otherwise, there is no problem in getting the result in a single cell like this. It will work for you. Now let me copy paste it downwards. So here it is taking. And we also have the cell selection. You can see it has changed from B4 to B5. So you can see here. Here the cell reference is B4. Let me zoom it for you. It's B4, G44. In the next cell, it shows B5, G45. Even the cell reference on the data selection is moving. You should observe that. But we don't require this. Currently, it is working for you because these values are still in the selection that we have given. Suppose I gave a value something like this, E002 over here. It's still working. Great. So let's go back to the sheet and check. You see, cell selection will move like this. Let me give E0015. See, it will give you NA. This number is there in the data, but still it gives you NA because the data selection over here has changed. It's no more within the range that we selected. It has moved. So we don't want the data selection to be moving when I copy paste this to other cells. So that is when I choose to keep it absolute. Select it, keep it absolute. So now you can see it will give you the results. My comp alt. So it is there over here. First cell. It will give you. Again, so when I copy paste it towards the right hand side, so it will give you NA because it is selecting this as the lookup value. It should remain here, but it has changed. When you copy paste your formula from left to right or right to left, reference on the column will change. So over here, I don't want the column B to change. The reference on column B should not change for me. So I'll give this, I'll say only on B, the reference should not change. Now I'll copy paste, it will work. Here we haven't given the column index number. I should just go and change it manually. Or use match function. Anything is fine. Go to region. So once we are done with it, copy paste it to the cells below. You will get it. Okay, so you have to decide these dollar symbols based on your requirement. It is always not $B and $5. It doesn't work like that. So what kind of data you have, how exactly it is working. So it all depends on that. That's the reason we stressed a lot on the cell references. So especially in the lookup functions, you require those referencing skills, where to give dollar, where you should not give. So you will get to know that through practice. I have that hopes. So in the similar manner, you can also look up values from a different workbook as well. Okay, so just like we did with across the sheet. So from this sheet, I took the values over here using VLOOKUP formula or any other formula for that matter. It still works. In the same manner, I can also look up values from a different workbook as well. Okay, is that all clear to you, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have any doubts, any one of you, please let me know. We'll move to the next function then. Next set
Yeah,
of
you were,
formulas.
sorry, Vidya, you were just talking about if the employee number is E005 and the lookup value is also E005, so then only we'll be able to match, right?
No, no, come again.
See, if the employee ID with
Hmm.
one Excel sheet and another Excel sheet has to be matching,
Yes,
match. So
yes,
then only we can be able to do a VLOOKUP or a HLOOKUP or
yes,
match, whatever it is.
yes.
But I have some data with me, okay,
Okay,
where I have the employee ID, which is
hmm.
already there uh, in column A and column B. But
Okay.
if I do a duplications or a conditional formatting for that, it's not working.
As
That
in,
means, it is not matching each other, but it is not taking it up.
you're copy pasting it.
Yeah. No, I have done a paste for sure.
No, I'm still not able to understand your question. You are trying to copy and paste it like this, and it is not working, is what you're saying.
I mean to say, see, this employee ID E005,
Mm-hmm.
which you have it in the B column,
Yeah.
okay, the same employee number you have it in C column, okay.
Okay, like
If
this.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
so when you just do true or false for this this employee number, it is giving me false because both this employee number in B and employee number in C is a different one. But when you just check it out, the employee number is same. So
Yeah,
how
that's
to
what I'm
identify that?
saying. To identify that, you make sure like choose that cell and check in the text box. See, as I said, if you have an extra space here, just by looking at it also, you'll not be able to make it out. So that's when I think you have done this equal
Yeah.
to this cell
Yes.
and equal to this cell.
Yes.
So it will give you false only because either this is wrong or
Or
this
either
is
this is
wrong.
wrong. Okay.
So you have to go in edit mode and check it. So the other way to check it is using some text functions. So we'll be learning that in the further chapters.
Okay.
So see, we can use len function. The len is one function which will let me know how many characters are there in it. See, this one has got 4. Let me check if it is the same for the other side. See, this shows 5.
Okay. Okay.
So I can make, I'm sure that this has got some extra character in it.
Some characters, yes.
So I can go and remove this. Once you remove, you know it is the same.
Okay.
Okay. So you need to check this way. So that might be the reason why you are getting this NA error in your lookup
Okay. Okay.
functions.
Got it. Got it. I'll just have to check.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You have any doubts? Okay. So we'll take up another set of functions to learn. We'll open mathematical function. Yes. Can you see this? Mathematical functions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Just say okay. See, these functions are quite simple. So I don't want to bog you down with so many functions all together. These are little simple compared to the lookup functions that we learned today. I'll just cover this part and I'll send you the files for you to practice those lookup functions and this one as well. Okay. After these functions, I'll stop the sessions. Okay. So here, so you can see we have round up and round down. See, these functions are used to round off decimal values to a certain decimal places. See, this is a huge decimal value. You can see here, it's a huge decimal number. Now over here, if you go, use round function. You give the number to be rounded off and mention the number of digits. I'll say round it off to 2 decimal places. You will get this. So next, round up. All three does the same job. Only thing is, round up and round down give you a slightly different value. Round up will always try to round it off to a higher value, whereas round down will always round it off to a lesser value. You can see this round up and round will always try to give almost the same results. So let me give this. See, same thing. Round down, choose this. So this time also I'll give 2 digits. It will give you a lesser value. Now suppose I change this to 8. You see? Did you see the change? Now here, let me change this to 2. Now you can see round and round down. They are matching. See, round just randomly tries to reduce it to 2 decimal places. But round up is always going to round it off to a higher value, and round down always tries to reduce it to the lowest value. Okay, so these are used to just round off your values to a certain number of places. We use it to round it off. So suppose I have some division being done, I can tell you where it can be applied. Now I know 7 by 2 will give me a decimal value, but I don't want this. I also always want it to be a whole number. So what we can do, just use round function. I'll take this and say 0 decimal places. I don't want any decimal places to be shown, so it will round it off. See, it will always give me this value. Suppose I change this. Let me take 2 cells and give these values and show you. I'll take 7 here. 3 here, and I'll say this cell divided by this cell. See, we are getting this result, but by rounding it off, we get this. So whether you want round up or round down, it will be more precise. If I say round up, you see, it will give me a higher value. Previously, I just gave round, gave me 2. Round down will also give me 2 only. So you can use this in calculations which you want it to be specifically a whole number. Though you know it is going to give you a decimal value, you don't want those decimal places to be displayed. That's when you can use round function, round up or round down based on your preference. You can do that. In the similar manner, we have ceiling and floor option. See, these functions are used with whole numbers or even decimal values for that matter, but it will always try to round it off to a multiple. See, here we talked about the decimal places. So, this function especially can be used only with the decimal numbers. That's not the same with ceiling or floor. You can round off a given number to a multiple that you want. Now, suppose I have a number 62. Now, I want to round it off to a multiple of 5. Ceiling. So, when I say multiple of 5, I'll check which is the next number. See, if I'm using ceiling, I'll say which is the next number after 62, which will get divided by 5 completely. So, that is 65. Let me show you that. Ceiling. It is ceiling math in the new version. And choose the number. You need to mention the significance. That is the multiple for which you want to round it off. Now, if I say 33, it will give me 35. Now, if I say 98, it's going to give me 100. So, whichever is the next multiple, next fifth multiple, that is a multiple of 5 table, that will be displayed here. Now, I change this. I want it to be multiple of 3. See, it will show me 99. You give any number, and if you are using ceiling for that, it is always going to give you a higher value. Let me say 20, 20, 20, 20, 28. See, the ceiling value with a significance of 3 will give me 30. So if I use floor for the same, floor will always give me a lesser value. I'll use the same function. See, this one, I'll give the significance as 3 only. This gives me 27, whereas this gives me 30. Because floor always tries to give me the lesser value, whereas ceiling always tries to give me the higher value. So where do we use this ceiling and floor? Let's say, so whenever you want to round off your costing, let's say you have manufactured something, even for a small purpose, let's say you have kept a bakery or you have baked so many things, you have prepared so many concoctionary, so those things, what you can do is you are going to set some cost to it, let's say. So taking into account the raw materials, the power that you have used, your labor cost, everything, you will arrive at some value. So it will be like 11 or 25, something like this. So people would like to keep the cost of an item in transactional numbers so that it is easy for exchanging, without any change. Don't go by barter price, huh? Okay, so that's not 9.99 because they don't never give that 1 rupee back to you. So I just took a random example to explain you where you can use this ceiling and floor. Okay, so the next example, sum product. Let's go here. So you all know why sum is used. So it is going to add all the numbers that we select. Whereas product will multiply all the numbers that I give as an input to it. You just select this, it will give me this answer. So how did we arrive at this? See, for multiplication, you can multiply in any direction you want. It is going to give you the same answer. 2 into 3 is same, 3 into 2 is same. So even here, so let's see, 5 into 10 is 50, 52 is 100, 103 is 300, 3 6 18, so 1800, 18 nines 162, so 16200 is the answer over here. You change this value, even it will change over there. Okay, so sum product, how does this work? Sum product is a special formula wherein it will reduce two steps to one. See, if you go out for purchasing something, not in the lockdown, okay, some essentials, if you go and purchase something, let's say, you will get a bill. So in that bill, you will see the price of the product, quantity that you have purchased, and the total. So how did you get the total column? By multiplying price and quantity, correct? So when you add all those total price for each product that you have purchased, you will get the grand total. But if you have observed here, there are two steps involved. One is multiplication of price and quantity, and then adding the total. The total is the product of price and quantity. So when I sum all those products, that's when I get sum product. So the sum product is used for that purpose. So you just give sum product here. The input should be given in this way: array 1, array 2, array 3. You have to choose it like this: array 1, comma, array 2, and it will get you the result. See, how did we get 98? See, 5 into 10. First, it is going to multiply all numbers row wise. So in this order, 5 into 10, we get 50. Next, 3 to 6. Next, 6 sevens, 54. Now when I add these, I'll get, sorry, am I right?
That is
42,
42, I think.
42, 42. Yeah, I'm giving 6 nines. So now I'll get 98. Okay, so you can see in the status bar shows 98. So these are the functions. Okay, I'll stop the session here. Stop.